UFC Atlanta, Buckley versus Usman. Here's my experience.
I see my haters proud of me now. When I'm around, it's all smiles. I took over my whole town.
All right, to kick this thing off, I'll give this card a solid 7 out of 10. Some really fun fights happen on this card, but when the entire main card goes to decision, and I know technically the fight versus Mansour Abdul Malik versus Cody Brundis didn't go to decision, but it was technically a decision, which the right guy won in my opinion. It can't be that exciting. The first fight of the night I want to talk about is Mr. Phil Rowe versus Ange Lucha. That man, Phil Rowe, came back from 2-0 and got a finish. Got a beautiful finish at that. He just held him right there with his left hand and started throwing right hand bombs. Bomb after bomb after bomb after bomb. And that man finally went down. That man, Phil Rowe, has no quit in him. Phil Rowe is able to snap his 2-fight losing streak in an emphatic and an impressive performance versus Lucha. The next fight I want to talk about is Mr. Jose Ochoa versus Cody Durden. This man, Ochoa, is going to be very good if he's able to keep up this type of fighting style. That man was able to absolutely put Cody Durden out at the beginning of the very second round, and that man looked phenomenal the entire first round of that. Cody Durden didn't really look like he wanted to get off the stool going into that second round, but Jose Ochoa was able to put a stamp on that performance, and I cannot wait to see what he do in this division. And after that fight, we have a knockout of the year contender in Mr. Malcolm Wellmaker versus the returning Chris Montano. This man, Malcolm Wellmaker, is going to be an absolute superstar. Everybody's saying he's 31 years old. I do not care how old he is. If he's putting on performances like that, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in the slightest. Malcolm Wellmaker is getting people out of there in the first round with right hooks, and it is looking phenomenal each and every time. I don't know who he fights next. He had a very soon, fastest turnaround, fighting from Kansas City to this Atlanta card, but Malcolm Wellmaker is not getting touched, so hopefully we can see him within the next couple of months, give him a time to get a break and give him a pretty decent training camp. But Malcolm Wellmaker, 135 pounds, y'all have yourself a budding superstar. Let him get 1 or 2 more of these knockouts, and that man's going to be everywhere. What do you guys think about his performance? Let me know. In a fight of the OGs, the veterans in the UFC, we have Michael Chiesa versus Court McGee. This fight kind of surprised me because, honestly, Michael Chiesa did not shoot for a takedown once. That man chose to stay on his feet and try to throw hands with Court McGee. And, I mean, it's 2 grapplers, so you can't really see too much of that. But Court McGee was just slower. He was just slower than Michael Chiesa. Michael Chiesa looked like he was able to bully him around the cage, and he was able to get the unanimous decision victory. In the prelim headliner of the night, the fight I was kind of most excited to see, we had Mr. Rodolfo Bellato versus Paul Craig. I was very interested in seeing if Paul Craig can survive an early onslaught from Rodolfo Bellato, but this fight probably ended the weirdest way of a fight in 2025 so far. An up kick that seemed like it missed, but it also seemed like Rodolfo Bellato was knocked out for a second. He's also complaining on the way down, then woke up, looked like he was terrified. I don't know. I don't think this fight should be rebooked. I don't think this fight does anything for either one of these fighters, but it was a very strange fight to end the prelims. Kicking off the main card, we had light heavyweights. We had Mr. Alonzo Menifield versus Umar Sy. This fight did not deliver on what I thought was going to happen. They both look sluggish. They both look kind of slow. Alonzo Menifield is on a 2-fight win streak after this win, but I don't really know what the UFC does on him. His fighting style isn't as dynamic as I thought it would be going forward in his career, but it is what it is. He might be a little gunshot from what happened to him whenever he did fight Carlos Ulberg, but something has to happen. He just can't keep killing off prospects. What did you guys think about this? Dana White Contender Series alum Mansour Abdul Malik, I think he has potential to be one of the best Dana White Contender Series fighters, and that's including Sean O'Malley and Jamal Hill, the former champions. But this man, Mansour Abdul Malik, technically got a decision win, but everybody seen that third round. It was kind of a clash of heads, but I think it wasn't that significant, like Mansour said, to make the fight a decision the way it is. But Mansour Abdul Malik looked fresh the entire fight. That was a lot of people's questions going into his career in the UFC. Is he going to gas in the late rounds in the third round? Eventually, when he gets a championship fight or a main event, is he going to gas in the championship rounds? We haven't seen that yet. He looked very fresh going into the third round, where he was able to get that finish. but it is what it is. Mr. Mansour Abdul Malik moves to 9-0 and 9 technical finishes. In my opinion, I'm counting it as 9 finishes. What did you guys think about his career going forward, and when would you like to see him come back next? I think he should come back around September, October, somewhere around there. Following that fight, we had a former champion and Mr. Cody Garbrandt taking on Raoni Barcelos. This fight kind of went completely opposite ways after the first round. Cody Garbrandt looked vintage. It looked like the guy that fought Dominic Cruz all those years ago in the very first round. He was able to stumble Raoni Barcelos multiple times, but outside of that first round, it was kind of over for him. Raoni Barcelos said, you know what, we're going to wrestle, and then when we do stand up, I'm just going to hit you harder than you hit me. And Raoni Barcelos was able to pretty easily, in my opinion, take the last 2 rounds, and it was very not competitive outside the first round. Cody Garbrandt just couldn't get it done. And I don't know what he does after this. I don't know what his career does after this, but I would love for Cody Garbrandt to end his career on a win, because that special performance he had against Dominic Cruz, I don't think a lot of people see him as a former champion like they should, but Cody Garbrandt had one of the best all-time one-night performances against Dominic Cruz that night, and I would love to see him walk out with his head held high and his hand raised. Following that fight, we had the golden boy, Edmen Shahbazyan, taking on Mr. Andre Petroski. Edmen Shahbazyan, hands look phenomenal. Hands looked absolutely phenomenal. Defense looked just as good. I mean, Edmen Shahbazyan, I know he had a rough beginning in the UFC, but he was very young back then, and he's on a 2-fight win streak now, and he looks very, very good, honestly. I know his last loss was against Gerald Meerschaert. I think if there's the rematch, he does not lose that fight. But Edmen Shahbazyan, I think he has one more run in him, and I think he's going to kick off that run after this win last Saturday. And I think Edmen Shahbazyan is going to be somebody that we should keep our eye on in the middleweight division going forward. In the co-main event of the night, we have another former champion. We have Rose Namajunas versus Miranda Maverick. Miranda Maverick did look massive compared to Rose Namajunas in the cage, and she looked like she was going to be stronger in everything, in every facet. But Rose, she is a former champion for a reason. She used that experience to grind out and win in a unanimous decision fashion. And Rose Namajunas, she's kind of in purgatory right now. She's lost to Erin Blanchfield and Manny Farrow. Both of those fighters are ranked above her. I don't think she's just fighting for the love of the game, even though she did get paid very, very well. I'm just not seeing a path forward for her to get a title shot unless she's able to rematch a Manny Farrow, who's coming off that loss against Valentina Shevchenko. I don't really know, but Rose Namajunas looked very damn good in that fight, and I think she still has the championship chops. I just don't know how she gets back. In the main event of the night, we had Mr. Kamaru Usman making his long-awaited return versus the surging phenom Hakeem Buckley, and this fight looked like Prime Usman was back. Prime Usman was back, dominating the wrestling for 4 rounds straight. It looked like Hakeem Buckley never trained a wrestling defensive style in his life, and that man was just getting taken down and getting beat up on for the first 4 rounds. In the 5th round, it looked like something clicked. He said, you know what, if I get my hips out of the way and I back up, he can't take me down, and that's exactly what happened. And Hakeem Buckley was able to land some pretty big shots in the 5th round. It looked like he was close to getting him out of there, but not the, oh my God, what just happened right there? Not as close as Carlos Prates had Ian Gary walking him like a dog. That's a whole nother video for another day. But that man, Hakeem Buckley, never gave up on himself, and his takedown defense improved dramatically, increasingly 10 times fold in the 5th round. I don't know if that has something to do with him or Kamaru Usman getting a little bit tired. But what did you guys think about that performance? Kamaru Usman said that he wants the winner of the JDM Islam Makhachev fight, and I think that after a performance like that, you could give him a title shot, especially since he was a very, very dominant champion for a while. But it is what it is. Fight between Kamaru Usman and Shavkat Rakhmonov will be a perfect #1 contenders fight. That's just my opinion. What did you guys think about it? That's just my opinion on it. What did you guys think about UFC Atlanta? What was your favorite fight of the night? What was your most surprising performance of the night? Like always, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Be good people. Peace.